Hiya folks, JD here, and today we're going to be looking at three helicopters. Now these helicopters are the WLToys V911s, the V930 and the V988. Now this is a comparison of what I think, or how I thought the three of them flew, how they handled, how much power they had, and whether or not they can get themselves out of any sort of a situation. So first of all, let's start off with the WLToys V911s. This is a brushed helicopter and had no problem at all in controlling it. It's controlled extremely well. Now, what I did find with this is that if you are new to helicopters, this is probably one of the easiest ones that you can fly. It flies very straight, very true. In this particular video, I'm not flying with any sort of wind. It's a very still day. The helicopter, I'm just allowing it to dart back and forth. My movements are very slow on the transmitter, just allowing it to sort of dip and just to pitch however much it wants to. Now and again, I've got to snap it back because helicopters do run away with you, or at least I find they do get into a situation where if you don't slow down as you come into turn, then your helicopter will keep on going and they do dart away. Now the transmitter on this particular helicopter is very basic, but that is a good thing, because I did find that the movements are very easy to control, very easy to move. The transmitter is very light. The range is pretty good as well. I didn't have any concerns with range, and all in all, I do think this is a very nice helicopter. It's a good beginner copter. It's a good copter when there's no wind. If there's a slight breeze, do not take it out, as it does have a bit of an issue with it. I would most certainly say that this is a good helicopter for a beginner. Battery life, you're looking at about 7 to 8 minutes. I think in this particular video we had about 8.5. It was incredibly long, but the battery survived very, very well, and it charged in relatively a quick time as well. That being said, I've taken this guy out and flown him about another 3 times, and he still surprises me. Very, very quick and very, very agile indeed. Next we come on to the WLToys V930. This is a brushless helicopter, and as you can see, in the day that I flew this, it was very, very misty. One thing I do find very strange about this, there is no orientation light, so you do have to literally keep the helicopter quite close to you to know exactly which way it is pointing. There's no camera, there's no orientation light. It can be a little bit disorienting, especially in mist. What I did find with this is there it oodles of power. At no particular point was I at 100% of the throttle. I feathered between about 65 to 80, and even then I think 80% is a little bit too high, because this helicopter is just so powerful. It's very smooth as well. Now with some of the brushed helicopters, they can be quite jarring, their responses can be very sudden, whereas with this it was very smooth, very controlled. I thought it flew through the air very, very nicely indeed. That being said, it does have a bit of a down point, and that is that the battery is quite short, because of that motor is so powerful and really just wants to go, and that battery does drain quite quick. That being said, you can get a good 6 to 7 minute flight out of it. Take a couple of batteries with you and you've got a lot of time, a lot of good time spent flying these. Now there's no flybar on this, which just adds to the stability. Turning corners was very stable, moving the helicopter was very stable. All in all, I think this is a real winner. Now with the orientation light, one way I did find very easy to look, one feature I did find very easy in order to tell which way I was facing, is that you can see the back motor, as it is quite large, the rotor motor at the back, from quite a way away. So I just kept that towards the back of the helicopter, and I found out that actually helped in my orientation quite a lot. Again, we're looking at the same transmitter as on the V911s. It's the same transmitter for all three helicopters. Honestly, I don't think you can get a better transmitter for it. It's very light, it's very easy to use. Your fingers sit on the analog sticks very nicely. You don't have any issue with range. All in all, I just think it's a great transmitter. I really do. Now, one more thing to add on this particular helicopter. It is a little bit of a nightmare when you come to land, because the motor doesn't gradually slow down and then slow down within enough of a speed for you to land quite nicely. It slows down and then stops. So you will find that as you come down, you may bounce a little bit on the floor. But that is about the real only downside for this particular helicopter. Next, the WLToys V988, and this was the last of the 3 that I flew, and I thought it was, again, very nice. One thing WLToys can do is they can make an excellent car, and they can make an excellent helicopter as well. Now, today, this particular day when I flew this, it was a very windy day. I thought for once I would take out this helicopter, let the helicopter fly through the breeze, and I would just control varying aspects of it, but let the wind do the work. The battery life is incredible on the V988. It could be because I wasn't using that much throttle, but we had almost 10 minutes of flight time in this one particular flight. Again, transmitter is the same WLToys transmitter as the other 2. As for movements, once again there's no orientation light. I did find the movements to be quite smooth, not as smooth as the brushless V930, but still smooth enough, smoother than the V911s. All in all, I do think this is a nice helicopter. Again, I don't have that many negative things to say. Orientation is most certainly one of them, the orientation light rather. I do miss that. I do think a nice little light on the underside. It doesn't weigh that much and it would go a long way. Now, the throttle response of this particular helicopter is a bit different to how the other 2 respond. You have to really push up on the throttle to get anywhere, but as soon as you're up in the air, it'll just dart away from you. So you have got to remember to throttle up and then throttle back a little bit and then throttle a little bit and throttle a little bit more until you find that nice sweet spot. When you are in that sweet spot, this helicopter will pretty much stay where it is, and you can just control its direction without there being any issue. Now, when it does come to land, oh wow, did you see that? You can see how fast this thing is in this wind. The wind was really just moving it around. It did a fantastic job of flying this helicopter. Now, the tail rotor in this helicopter is on. From what I could see, it looked like it was on all the time rather than just being used to turn left and right. That can be a little bit of an issue in draining the battery. I didn't experience that in this particular video, and I haven't experienced it yet, but just be warned that you can expect your battery life to be a little bit shorter if that motor is on all the time. Now, it could just be on in my video because the wind was so powerful and the wind was just turning it, but I just thought I would mention it. Alright, that's the 3 helicopters done with. Okay, now for the final verdict. I do believe the helicopters should go in this particular order. So you should have the V930 at the front, that's the brushless helicopter, with the V988 and that really nice smooth brushed control that it has, and then pulling up the rear is the V911s. And the only real reason that is in last place is quite simply because it wasn't as smooth as the V988 and nowhere near as smooth as the V930. So there we have it, folks. That is what my impressions and what I think of these 3 helicopters and the differences between them. If you're a beginner, the V911s is going to most certainly be the best one, as the V930 and the V988 can be a little bit too quick for a beginner to handle. There we are, folks. I hope you've enjoyed. Thank you ever so much for watching and listening. I've been JD. You've been fantastic as always. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Hello and welcome to all the new subscribers. I hope you're enjoying the channel. So until next time, my friends, happy flying.